Off the record with a huge fan of the WWF, Trish Stratus making her debut appearance. Best with the microphone.
Second to you, Michael.
Oh, go on, stop.
Intelligence, I don't know. You take a vote, I think. Me? I'm not in the wrestling.
That was August 1998. Long time ago. Your first appearance on OTR.
Are you sure this is my first?
I'm sure it was your first.
I don't know. I think that wasn't my first. I think I'd been on a few times.
No, because I called you on the phone.
Okay.
I called Oxygen Magazine and I said, we need to put a woman on the show who knows wrestling. And they suggested you. And I said, well, I don't know who that is. And they said, look at the billboard on the Don Valley Parkway.
That's right.
And you had this, so I drove down the Don Valley Parkway. And then I called you on the phone and you said, you know, I want to use this to get into wrestling. And you did, which is a phenomenal story.
Oh, but I'll tell you what happened. That particular moment, literally, that's like the internet was quite new at the time. It was just kind of starting up. Internet's a huge thing in wrestling, right? I go online and they say Trish Stratus has been spotted on Michael Landsberg's show by Vince McMahon, and she will be debuting soon. And like totally false.
And you had never heard
and
anything like that.
I'm a wrestling fan,
right.
And I'm like, oh my God. So of course there was, I had to put some thought into that and put some plan in action.
But I have to say, one of the things I've always admired about you was the game plan that you had in your head, which was you wanted to get into it. So when you were given the chance to be on with other wrestling people, you took advantage of it and you delivered. They loved you. But also I admire you so much because you got in and you got out of wrestling, which is a real challenge.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know what? I had a robust 7 years. I came in a
Define robust.
Robust because it was so full. It was, put it this way, when I retired, everyone asked me, do you regret leaving? Do you miss it? I never missed it. I never regretted it. I did everything I wanted to do in the business. I had sort of a bucket list, I guess you could say, of things I wanted to do, things I wanted to accomplish, became 7-time champion, worked with every girl that was a worker in the company, and just had really great storylines, not only with the girls, but the men's superstars. So just, I really had a full career that allowed me to kind of do just about
But it was
everything.
your plan right from the beginning to have an end, too, right? Like you weren't going to be a lifer. Not that there's anything wrong with that, although there can be something wrong with that because it destroys a lot of people. But your plan was to get out.
I think I recognize there's a limited shelf life. As a fan of wrestling, you watch it and you know there's a point where you just watch it like, that guy should just go away, right? And I think just like 30...
Hey, I will not have you talk about Hulk Hogan on this show like that.
Hey, I did.
No.
Subliminal messages.
Yeah.
No, but I think at 30, I knew that 30 was a good time to like leave. It's like, because there's all that hot business and I didn't want to be like that hot chick who looks good for a 30-year-old,
How did you avoid the dark side? And if you want me to define the dark side, I will. If not, you can
define the dark side.
The dark side is the price that a lot of people pay for this. Using painkillers, sleeping pills, the lifestyle that really gets to you. And these aren't bad people. This is not the suggestion that they're doing something evil. But that lifestyle does hurt and get to a lot of people. How did you avoid it?
I was really focused on, first of all, I had a very, very healthy background coming from the fitness world. I knew that my body was my instrument, and that's what allowed me to continue doing what I was doing. I did not go out. Listen, in school, I was always a nerd. I did my school, my studying, and when I went to WWE, it was the same thing. I didn't go out and do the bar thing. I just went in and I did my job. And I always was like, I'm here to work. And I knew that, I didn't want to go out and know that, even if I was tired, you will feel that the next day and it'll be affected in your match. My body work is affected by my sleep, by my performance the night before. So for me, I just was aware of that the entire time.
It's too bad that you couldn't share that with other people because it must be so sad for you to look back at your career and all the people that you worked with, that you managed, who are gone.
Sure, yeah, of course it is. But I think I've been there. I was there. I say robust 7 years. A lot of these guys are going on to their 20th year. So who knows? Maybe if I was there for another 10 years on top of that, maybe I would have gone to the dark side. But I doubt that. But
I doubt that too.
That's what it is. I think they.
But also, I think it was because you had options, right? You
That's
went to school.
That's all they knew. That's all they know.
And one of the real traps that wrestlers fall into is that, and I've had a whole bunch of guys say this on the show. I don't know anything else. At a certain point, when you're 30 and you don't know anything else, you can learn something else. Yeah. But when you're 45, it's very difficult.
Yeah. You're right. I had a backup plan. I kind of knew I was in this for. I wasn't. People a lot of the guys. That's their life. for me, it was part of my life. It wasn't my life, you know, and I had extracurricular activity I was doing. I was pursuing other businesses.
Right.
You know, and about branding myself, knowing that like whatever I create here for this next, you know, 7 years, I need to take that and hopefully parlay that into something else.
And we'll find out whether you've done that. I mean, there's not much suspense. Everybody knows you have with all of the things that you have going on. I won't let you mention them all because that would take like 9 years, but we'll hear about a few of them.
Okay.
So here's what I'm thinking, Trish Stratus, WWE Hall of Famer, women's champion 7 times, hardcore champion. But I imagine this means way more to you because those are bestowed upon you basically as part of a storyline, right? But this is kind of saying, hey, you were really good for the sport.
Well, yeah, and it's like, you know, you go into any career and you want to leave an impression, you want to leave a mark. And to me, I mean, knowing what we did to the women's division, how, you know, the work I did during that time, I mean, we really changed the way women's wrestling was perceived, how the role of the female was kind of redefined after we did all that work. So I know that it was like a nod to my body of work, which is sexy.
Is this bigger than Babe of the Year?
God.
Diva, hold on, Diva of the Decade.
The funniest thing about Babe of the Year is like when I get like interviews and they're like, and 3-time Babe of the Year. I'm like, it's just an internet voting thing because I'm in a bikini. It's not important, you know?
So you like what you did for women in wrestling, the image. Would you say that you took it past what was an original storyline or an early storyline? Was you and Vince having a romantic affair, his wife going to an insane asylum, and then him saying, you know, I'm tired of you, I'm done with you, and then you having to do a striptease and bark like a dog.
Right, all that good stuff.
But well, you went past that, right?
It was pure, like, soap opera. Yeah, and I guess it's funny because my character did the evolution, but really the women's division and the way women were viewed also did an evolution. So for that moment, it was like, yes, he degraded me, and there was that moment where my character said, I'm not taking this anymore. Stood up against him, slapped him at WrestleMania 17, the grandest stage of all, and moved on to become a full-time wrestler on her own. So that's what Trish Stratus did. But for us, that's what we did too. The women were just simply storylines. We were just on the side, right? And then now we were actually a viable part of the program.
Let me ask you some fast questions. You give me fast answers. How did you decide who to invite your wedding? I saw some of the people that were there. How did you not invite the whole roster?
Oh, that was difficult. Well, it was mostly a travel thing. They couldn't come in because of shows, so that was an easy one. But the girls were kind of like, you know, my homies, and so I brought them in.
And you are expecting a baby.
I am.
And that will be in September. What is your ideal weight gain? Because I know that you have all kinds of suggestions for women and for men about eating and exercise. So what's your ideal amount?
Well, I've been told it's 25 to 35 pounds, but it's funny because a lot of the books you read, it's all over the place, and I just think it's like keep yourself healthy and you'll gain your weight naturally. Having the Hall of Fame and a big appearance in front of Madison Square Gardens helps you keep your weight in check as well.
Right. Well, maybe Kim Kardashian needs to make an appearance in the Hall of Fame in front of Madison Square Gardens.
Maybe.
You're huge into yoga, obviously. Who's someone that
huge?
I don't think I did.
Okay, just checking.
Who's someone that you wrestled with that you would love to see him try to do yoga? Try being the key word.
Huh.
Who would be the worst at it is what I'm trying to say.
The Big Show, probably?
Big Show would be hysterical.
Hilarious. Oh, yes.
So you have all these things going on. Tell me quickly, and I'll keep coming back and asking questions.
Okay.
What are you doing right now?
I am in the middle of writing a book.
And what will the book be about?
Trish Stratus Yoga.
Trish Stratus Yoga.
Lifestyle, recipe, nutrition.
Okay. Tell me about your website.
TrishStratus.com has all my updates. It's the hub where all my fans can go and check out everything that I'm doing. I mean, you know, it's interesting because everything I'm doing, it's gone back to my roots from my fitness modeling days. I have, I'm the face of New Balance right now. So, you know, it's me spreading the message of health and fitness. I just signed a deal with a company called Liquid Nutrition. And this was, you know, because for me, I had the yoga studio, which has turned into a product line. So I've managed to get the brand going, which has been a great challenge and really enjoying this as a business. And I was looking for other opportunities and lining myself with partners that are doing the same thing that I'm doing. So Liquid Nutrition is basically like a juice bar, and it's headed up by Team Liquid, which is like Steve Nash, Matt Ryan.
Right, I knew that. Actually,
yeah. Okay. So
anything else? We're running out of time.
You're running out of time.
Right.
You said it would take 9 years. So
right.
I would think that would be the latest.
Okay.
I'm on the cover of my 95th. I think I was on here for a couple covers, so I'm on my 95th cover. Let's do a big celebration for my 100th cover.
All right.
But I think it should be a duo cover.
We should do a full show, and you'll give us the real scoop, okay?
On the 100th, we'll do the 100th cover episode.
Great to see you, Trish.
Good to see you too.